Right, getting on with that Royal Enfield project. It's the 11th of June, a Tuesday. Man, I don't know where these spring and summer months go, but they just fly by. And the winter months just seem to drag on so badly. But anyway, like I just love this time of year. But anyway, before I got going with any work on the Royal Enfield, I had to clean the shop up a little bit because honestly, I didn't clean it up all winter. I tidy up the bench a little bit here and there so I could see what I was doing. But the floor and that, anyway, I got her all swept out. To be honest with you, it took me like 3 days to do this because every time I started, I got sidetracked by something else. It was this or that, or help the wife, or hang out with her. And hey, if you got a wife, you got to spend time with her, or she ain't gonna like you very much. That's what being married is all about: companionship and helping each other. Anyway, on with this Royal Enfield. I forgot about gauges because I'm so into getting this thing on the road that gauges was the last thing on my mind. But anyway, Charlie did bring out a box full of gauges, 5 or 6 of them. Some of them are just smashed to pieces, and some of them are usable. But I found a couple of these Smith ones in the pile of stuff that wasn't too bad. The only thing wrong is there's a tiny little dent right up there on the speedometer. But this isn't a restoration, so, just to get it on the road and have a speedo on it, well, there you go. I don't think I'm going to fit the tack right now. I was going to do that originally, put both the tack and the speedo on there, but that's for further down the road. If he decides he wants to restore the bike this winter or something, then I'll have 2 instruments to put on it. But for now, I'm just gonna, I've tidied it up. I'll paint the back of it and that, make it look pretty. But for now, I'm just gonna concentrate on mounting the one instrument. I'm just gonna make a real simple bracket that I can bolt on right underneath of the old handlebar clamps there. So that should work out just fine, just for holding the speedometer. And while I'm up here fiddling around with the front end, I think I might just change that headlight bucket. It's an annoying piece of work because you got to take all the wires out of it and everything and then put them back in. But Charlie did bring me out a nice new headlight bucket. It doesn't have a rim with it, but I can get a rim. But since he's got that, I thought, well, maybe I'll put that on while I'm working on it. It won't take that long to do. And the big kit for the Caswell tank is on the way. I did get a small kit from a good buddy of mine. That I'll use in the back half of the tank because this oil tank has never been used as an oil tank. It's always been empty. So Charlie wanted me to see if I could make the back of this tank into a reserve tank. So boy, he'd be able to go a long, long way with that great big tank on there. I wouldn't be surprised if he could go 300 kilometers before having to switch on to reserve and then have another 100 kilometers in reserve after that. So yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at with that. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. Just hang on for the next clip and we'll see what happens next. I had to redo this clip because I broke wind at the end of it. I thought about leaving it on for a ha-ha funny, but then, I don't know, nobody wants to hear that. Anyway, here's the new bracket that I did up to hold that speedometer. And it looks pretty good, I think. Anyways, actually, that stupid little thing took about 2 hours to make. But anyway, it's all hand cut and that sort of thing, and filed and drilled and all that stuff. So that stuff all takes time. And doing up a decent template for it in the first place. But anyway, I think it looks pretty good on there. I even did the machining on the back side of it. Not that anybody's ever going to see that. I don't even know if the camera will pick that up. But anyway, it has a speedometer. And I even have a cable for it. Well, now that the speedometer's done, I decided I should be a good guy and change that ugly old headlight out of there. Put that shiny one on. So anyway, first thing I got to do is take that screw out of there. It's real simple to get these apart. Then just take that screw part way out until it gets loose. Then the whole, you know, the whole rim and lens comes right out of the headlight bucket. Then comes the tricky part where I have to make sure I know where all the wires go, and I don't know what kind of a state the wires are in underneath this. So first thing to do is get that off and have a look at what those wires look like. See if they're a horrible mess or not too bad. Plus, this old switch here, I know it's got a piece of solder holding it on the handlebars. I do have replacements for that switch, so I might as well change that out while I'm doing this wiring part. So put a new switch on there and make that look half decent too. Really? Piece of solder wire holding that on. Okay, I said it was easy to get these off, so let's see if it makes a liar out of it. So, looks like that should be good enough. Yeah, let's do it, right? So, I'm just going to take these little clips out of here, because I don't want to drop this and have to replace it. I'm losing all the clips that are holding the headlight to the rim. Well, it's not supposed to happen. Anyway, let me just give this a twist if I can. It usually just comes off with a simple twist. What's holding you on here, anyways? Ah, there we go. And there's the bulb right there. So I'm going to set this down here somewhere safe. Reasonably so. And see if I can find any of those clips that fell out. Anyway, they're those W-shaped clips. Well, you know, that wiring doesn't look too awful in there. Sometimes stuff is in a horrible state, so I'm just going to take the camera off the tripod here and let you have a look inside there yourselves. Well, not so bad. Well, the standard setup as far as hooking things up to the ammeter and the jewel indicators go, so that's not so bad. So I'll take a couple of pictures of this so I don't forget what wires go where, and then I will start taking the wires out because they all have to push out through this piece of rubber right here. And if everything goes right, then I'll just have to take the jewel indicators out of there and the ammeter and the headlight switch and put them in the new headlight bucket, which is right down there. So, what do I need next? I need the camera, so that's it for this little clip. Okay, I got the old headlight bucket off. There's the new one. I tell you, we got to that new one just in the nick of time. Another winter out in that garage, and this probably would have started showing some pitting down around this area, because you can still feel the odd little spot there even after polishing it up, but it's got a good coat of wax on it now. I'll put another coat on it after I put it on, so that should keep it protected. Other than that, as you can see, I can see my big old gut there in the reflection, and there's the old one. You can see there's quite a difference between one and the other. I'm going to reuse the old headlight rim because I don't have a new one to put on there. It's not perfect. You can see there's a few little spots right there that don't look good on it, but I can get a new one of them and replace that pretty quick, so I'll just use that for now. But now I'll get the ammeter and the switches back in there. Oh, there was a surprise with this switch. Somebody at some point in its life had ham-fisted that little nut down over the switch and crossed the threads and just gouged them all to pieces. Anyway, I managed to get it that it will screw on and off again, so I think that's the first thing I'm going to put back in there. So we'll get going with this reassembly procedure. Well, there's the next little hurdle I have to cross. As you can see, the hole here where the switch goes is smaller than the hole where the original one goes. So I'm going to have to get the Dremel tool and open that up in order to get that to fit. And then I'm going to fit those indicator lights in there too, just to make sure they're actually going to fit in there. So let's get going with that. Nothing's ever easy. Okay, so there it is. We got a new headlight bucket on there. The wires are all hooked back up again. I replaced this switch with a new old stock one that I had kicking around, and I did have a little trouble with a short in this switch. There's a little pin in there that sticks out when you flip from high to low beam, and it was sticking out too far, and it was causing a ground against the side of the switch, so that was blowing fuses, right? So anyway, I just nipped it off, and just to be sure, I wrapped some heavy-duty paper around the inside of the switch, so even if it did stick out, it still won't make contact with the switch body, and the hole still works now and all that stuff. So all's good with the headlight. Like I say, I really need to get a new rim for that, because it sticks out like a sore thumb. And there's one thing I think above all, Charlie's pet peeve. We all have pet peeves, but it seemed to me like the thing he was most concerned about was replacing that threaded rod right there on this this homemade shift linkage that he's got here. And I don't know, it kind of strikes me funny that, you know, he's got old wrenches that he's welded on here for levers, and hey, they worked, you know, so don't pick on them. But you know, a little silver paint wouldn't have hurt them, or even if you really liked them, get them chromed. But in any case, I will replace this with a nice piece of stainless steel rod that's threaded on each end, so we can adjust it if need be. So we're almost there. It's just a matter of, I keep harping on about that tank liner, but that's about all that's left. Okay, I don't know why I can't load the video that I had done up on installing the Caswell kit in the tank. It's on the camera, but it won't go into Clipchamp for some reason. Anyway, I'm having to do it over again. It's just a short clip because I don't go into any great detail. I have a 1 pint kit in the front part of this tank because that's the largest part. I have a 1/2 pint kit in the back of the tank because this is going to not just be an oil tank now. This is going to be reserved for fuel, and it never did have any oil in it because it was never used on a racing BSA as an oil tank. So anyway, inside of these tanks, these old fiberglass tanks, they're handmade. So they're extremely rough, so I have no worries about that Caswell kit not sticking to that fiberglass, because it definitely will. Anyways, it's been what now? Probably about 72 hours since I put that liner in, so that's been long enough that I would feel comfortable putting fuel in that. And the temperature around here has been around 70 to 75 degrees. So it's it's that nice time of year, so that's plenty warm enough for this stuff to cure in that amount of time. So the only other thing I got to say about this is putting these kits in is not difficult. If you can read and follow instructions, you can put one of these kits in these tanks. It's not that hard. Just follow the instructions to the letter and you won't have a problem. And there's this too. Got a nice new piece of stainless steel rod there, threaded on each end. Painted those trunnions up so they're not all brown and rusty. I even painted up the linkages that are made up for the shifter. So anyway, that should make Charlie happy. He just Couldn't stand the sight of that threaded rod on there for some reason. There, got a nice new headlight rim on there to match the nice new bucket. That looks a lot better now. That's what we want. No point in mixing and matching, having an ugly old rim on a pretty headlight bucket. So that pretty much wraps it up for this week. I'm gonna call this little video quits for now, and we'll get on with next week's progress in the next one. Maybe that might include a road test. So anyway, I still have to put the cable on the speedometer, which I have down there. I have to hook up some fuel lines, change the oil in the engine, get some proper stuff in there, and yeah, that's just about it. So anyway, if you like this little video, please click like, and you can subscribe if you want to. Anyways, thanks for watching.